Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Folks, how are you? Great to be here. Thank you. Since Herbert Hoover, the idea he had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, support at Roe. And that's this idea that what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea, and he went to the funeral. The idea, the third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea, I'm not saying no terrorist ever got through, but the idea.
A 4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period.
That's number one. And number two, the idea that I
have to apologize to you for anything.
He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, during that airlift. Number three.
Additional to get Hamas and Israel to end the war. You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security, the only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas, number one. Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. And all those people, every one of those who are convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea, turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea, he said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea.
Well, you want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea, no president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at
the time.
And the idea, if he thought they were good people coming out of that course, carrying those words, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea.
What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, for example, I provided for the idea. We find ourselves in a position where the idea, I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea, jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming, the idea is that we, in fact, we've not able to, the United States can't get its pollution under control. One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution, and we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution. But the idea, I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way, right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time of the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea is, in fact, want to cut it as well. The idea.
It's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea no one thinks we're weak.
No one
wants to screw around with us. Nobody, number one. Number two, the idea, that's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea, because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that were important. Number two, you had the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, we are growing. By the way, we brought an awful lot of people. Well, the whole idea.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea, there's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all, and required response. The idea, we've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, but This guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit, number one. Number three. Number two. Number one. The idea idea